Yeah, I'll talk about the girls I dated. I don't care.
5,
Cool.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back. So this is the extra footage for the Patreon channel that
Easter egg.
There you go, the Easter egg for it's going to be exclusive for James. So
Yes.
he's gonna have a lot of fun with this one. He gets to promote it however he wants. So he's gonna get into some serious talks. Which one do you want to start? Do you want to start with the edible story?
I could.
Okay, that would be a good starter.
Yeah, because you obviously don't. You don't indulge in
I drugs never been my thing. So my father was a smoker all his life. So I grew up in kind of like a part of my brain. I was like, smoking cigarettes, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, it's weird. But he's never done weed. He's never done coke. He's never done any of the drugs. So it's always been a big no-no.
Right.
So I was never a huge drinker.
Yeah.
I'd drink maybe once a month, every couple of months. I'll have like Screwdriver or Long Island Iced. Now I'm getting into whiskey a little bit, but little by little.
You're not one to get smashed.
No, I'm not the one to get smashed too many times a year. I have my one time a year where I'm gonna like lose everything.
Right.
Like, shit. You know what I mean?
A day you don't remember.
I don't
Usually
remember.
his birthday.
Exactly.
All
Around
right.
my birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually.
But anything else, man, it's just like no, nothing huge when it comes to me. So what's your wait?
Well, okay, so first I should have had a clue because it was the dude's Hawaiian, right?
Okay.
Like so I'm in a Comic-Con, and I'm not going to say which one because I don't want anybody to think that I was trying to do this on purpose at a specific Comic-Con. So, there was my kid. My son was, God, I think 9 at the time.
Okay.
That'll narrow down the Comic-Cons. So I was there, and Sawyer was there with me. And I'm doing a Comic-Con, doing signing. And this buddy of mine, this Hawaiian guy comes by, and he's like, "What's up, man? How's it going, bro? What, are you hungry?" I'm like, "I'm a little bit hungry." He's like, I got you, bro. So he comes by, and he brings me a brownie.
Right.
It's wrapped up in plastic, and he like winks at me, hands it to me. So I'm like, I hadn't eaten anything all day. I eat the brownie. And I'm still working, and he comes back. He's all, "Hey, bro, how did you take a bite?" I said, "I ate it." He's all, "Bro, you ate the whole thing."
That's when you
I said, "Yeah." He's all, "Oh man, that was special, bro." I said, "What do you mean it was special?" He's, "Bro, I winked at you."
Oh man,
you winked at me. What am I supposed? No, bro, I winked at you, man. That's that's special, bro. Oh my god, bro. So then I'm like, well, I hope it's not bad because I'm not a substance guy.
Right.
Like I don't really have any
So
substance
how long
issues.
did it take to hit
So
you?
about 20 minutes, I started to feel kind of dopey.
Oh man.
And I had my son with me, and then I went into a panic because I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no, what if he notices something's off?
Fuck, I've got this kid with me
Right.
that I'm responsible for. I'm his daddy, and I have, so, I could, and then it started getting really strong. Like, to the point of where I needed to like get away from people because I could feel it hitting me really hard, and like my entire head was turning into a helium balloon and floating away.
Shit.
But the difference between, if you guys have never smoked weed or done anything like that, the difference between marijuana and substances like that is that it's hard to describe it when you're drunk. And you have a drink, you know where you are, you're present, you feel like yourself, but like you're just kind of dopey. Like you're just like, oh, I'm super drunk, or you feel buzzed or whatever. But with things like marijuana and all these other things, your brain is not present. Your mind, your spirit, whatever, it's not, you're not present, you're not yourself.
Right.
So I'm sitting there working, and I start to like not feel at all like myself, and I feel like I'm just floating. That part of me, like my spirit is leaving my body. So I go and I run in the parking lot, trying to get it to course through my system faster because I'd never experienced edibles before. And then I go and I like, God, it was so gross. I did a full bulimia move and shoved my fingers down my throat, trying to puke it up, and I couldn't.
I had a similar experience. I'm gonna tell you about it.
So I'm running around, and I'm freaking, and I'm thinking that the cops are gonna see me running around and arrest me because I'm high in public.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah.
And my son's
You
there,
become delusional,
dude. And then I'm panicking
of
because my
course.
son's inside. We have no way to get home. My car's there. So I go inside and I just start giving Sawyer $50 cash at a time to go buy himself toys and stuff because I don't want him around me.
Of course.
And I'm panicking. And within an hour and a half, I was gone.
Done.
I was on Mars.
Absolutely.
And I was on Mars for like a week. No, I was literally on Mars for like 3 days.
Oh, I got you.
But I went across the street and I got a milkshake and I got chicken. Mm-hmm. I think I ate 3 meals. Mm-hmm. Just trying to get. The point was, it was trying to
understand what's going on.
Trying to tie my body to reality, and I figured that the best way to tie your body to reality is to have to chew something, and so that you are present. You're like, okay, I'm actually chewing. I can taste it. This is real.
Right.
It's really hard to describe for anybody who hasn't. But I had to go home and finish a painting because I had a painting due.
Oh my God!
I know.
Oh,
it was like this Disney piece. So I go home, and this is. I drove home. Thank Christ I got home safely. I'm sure I drove like better than, because I was paranoid about getting pulled over. I'm sure I went 64, all the way home. I got Sawyer dropped off safely, and then I went home and tried to paint, and I painted about a centimeter at a time, dragging the brush along, and everything was like trying to crawl through.
Were you on a timeline
Play-Doh
to finish this painting?
Yeah, dude, I was supposed to be done like the next day, and it was like I couldn't, because my brain was constantly wandering away.
How did the painting turn out?
It was okay. It actually turned out fine, because I think that your muscle memory is still, you still have whatever part of my brain was still present. I was still there, but it was awful, dude, and it's the worst experience, and because of that, I don't do edibles, not homemade edibles.
I will tell you a good story about that. Okay, so I go to my back. This was back when I was living in Chicago, because like I said, I don't do anything, whatever. So I go to a party. My buddy, his girlfriend, couple people over, and they have a bowl of like those jelly, sugary thingies, whatever, and on
like
the bowl,
peach rings and
watermelon. Back then,
gummy things.
3-4 years ago, we didn't have dispensaries.
Right.
So it didn't even cross my mind that this is edible. Plus, I'm not a professional when it comes to edible stuff. I'm not going to know.
How are you supposed
to
know?
I take the first one. And by the way, I'm drinking. So I have a little screwdriver in my hand. I'm messing with the screwdriver. I see I'm like, oh, some sweets. I grab the first one. Tastes a little weird, but not weird enough for me to stop. So I keep going on the second, third, fourth.
Oh my God.
I smashed four edibles, and I've been drinking. And at one point, we are watching.
What time of day is this?
Oh, this was after 6-7 p.m., like in the afternoon. So yeah.
It wasn't that late, because when you came home.
No, it was. Didn't get home till 10.
Yeah, but 10 isn't that late. I mean,
hold on, I'm coming to the story. So it didn't hit me like right away. So it took about 30-40 minutes, and then we're watching the sucky version of Ghostbusters, the one that the women did.
Chicks,
it wasn't funny. I'm gonna say it. It wasn't because the chicks are not chicks. That one was just not
good
funny.
writing.
Yeah, the writing.
The writing sucked, and I was cracking up. I was laughing.
You knew you were high.
My ass off, and I'm like, I've watched this movie before. I know I didn't laugh this much.
Yeah.
Something is going on, and then I start feeling a little doozy. And at one point, I just felt like my whole legs were gone. I'm telling them, like, let's get up. Let's.
But you couldn't.
I could not move my legs. So I called my friend, Kathy, Happy Kathy, and she came in to pick me up. She came in, got me in the car. We're driving down the highway, 90 West, and she's driving normal speed, nothing ridiculous, nothing weird. And I just get up out of nowhere. I'm like, oh my God, are you trying to kill me? Like, literally. I just thought like she was trying. Yeah, passenger seat. And I was like, oh my God, are you trying to like crash into that car? Like, she was just driving normal speed. So my friends that was at their house, they actually followed me. They wanted to know what happened after. So they followed me. They were cracking up after they found out how many ones I did. So I get home, and then I told Olivia, just something to eat, anything. As fast as possible. Please make it as fast as possible. She's like, I don't know. Like, everything needs to be cooked. Whatever is in front of you. So she put like slices of bread and like Nutella on top of them.
Yeah.
Chocolate. She gave me like 10 slices, and I just shoved them down my throat.
Oh my God.
And then at one point, I laid down her legs, and my whole world
was spinning. And then you felt sick.
And then I felt sick.
Of course.
And I just wanted to sleep. I'm literally at one point, I'm tearing up. I just want to go to sleep so that I can end this nightmare.
Yeah.
So I finally go to sleep. I wake up. This is not over. And then my buddy decided to try it for the first time. So I gave her some. And then I give her.
Why suffer alone?
Oh, absolutely. So I'm like, all right,
That's
whatever.
That's not the end of it either.
Because my friends brought some to my house and
Yeah.
they left them at my house, so I gave her a half.
A half of one gummy?
Edible. Dude, she was
gummy.
depressed for 3 days.
Oh, no.
She
But-
couldn't move. She started crying. She just went into a deep depression that took me.
So were these
She
like...
had an existential crisis. No, but then you gave me, I had 1.5, and I was doing laundry. And after you fell asleep, I was sitting on the couch folding it, and I think we were watching Night at the Museum, and I could not stop laughing. I've seen the movie 50 million
Right.
times,
Yeah.
So
but I
it's just-
couldn't
it's
stop
ridiculous.
laughing
Ridiculous.
at it.
I hate edibles.
Were they
I-
manufactured edibles, or did these people try to...
No,
they
it
were
wasn't- it
made-
was-
they
They
were from
got
the
them from
store.
California.
They got 'em from
Somebody
California.
drove in or flew in from California, or whatever, and he
Yeah.
brought him a bunch of bags.
Well, now there's like... Now people tend to have... Apparently, I had 1,800 milligrams
Okay.
Oh my
in that
gosh.
brownie.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's
which
a
is-
lot.
That's a lot.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they say you don't overdose on marijuana, but
No, you just get really high and like dizzy and
you can do some really stupid stuff. You might
really
not...
absolutely.
Yeah.
You might not overdose on it yourself, but you absolutely can get in a car
Right.
and panic and overcompensate because you think you see something in the road and kill some. Like there are
Yeah.
many ways that you can
Absolutely.
that you can cause damage,
Definitely.
Because you
Yeah.
definitely, like, your brain
even if
tells
you don't physically overdose.
It's actually worse than being drunk if you think about it. Because
Yeah.
when you're drunk, at one point you're like, all right, if I drive right now, I know I'm fucking up.
Right.
When you're doing drugs, you definitely just feel like you're fine, everything's
Yeah.
good, everything's Gucci.
Yeah.
You're not only just like that drunk and no, when you're high, it just feels like everything's okay.
Well, see, that's the
man.
problem with pain pills. I had to be careful because I got hit from behind in a car
Right.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
And
And then
going
you got
like
some
40
pills for it.
miles an
Okay.
hour. I got screwed up my spine.
Of course, yeah.
And they gave me a prescription.
And you can get
Well, I gave me a prescription for Oxy, right?
ooh, they don't even do that anymore.
So no, this is a while
honestly.
ago. So I took. I think that the thing was like 4 per day or something like that, or maybe it was 2 per day.
Sounds
Whatever it was the normal
Right.
amount for people in pain.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't in that much pain because I took the first one and then I was like, the first hour's great, but then after that you're like, this is awful.
Right.
Not quite the same as that, but I get why people can be
Absolutely.
addicted because with pain pills there's nothing wrong. Everything in life is happy. You have that constant like little buzz
You're numb.
going, and you just there's nothing in your life that can go wrong. So I get why people. So then I switched to half of one, and then I switched to half of half. Which now, if I have real bad back pain, I've still got like a
Right.
multi-year-old prescription. I'll take like a quarter of one, and then I'm good for the day.
It just loses its strength. It
It
doesn't
does.
really expire.
Right.
It just loses its strength.
Yeah,
But
so-
I just got my wisdom teeth pulled like a couple weeks ago.
Well, no.
And the
no.
strongest-
She didn't get 1 tooth pulled in one
You
day.
got
She
four?
had
Four.
4.
I had that too.
Oh, dude.
And the strongest
Were
thing.
you awake?
Yeah.
That's the
No,
worst.
Novocaine.
4 in one day. It's not like they
Novocaine.
separated
And
them.
you were
They
probably
kept shooting me up with Novocaine because I'd be like, "Oh, I could feel it."
swollen like a
Please.
chipmunk. Huh?
Oh, I looked horrible. I looked like I got hit by a truck.
Oh,
but
poor
the,
thing.
the strongest thing that they gave me was like the Tylenol that has codeine in
Oh,
it.
it's a joke.
That's
It's like
which
800
didn't-
milligrams of Tylenol.
Yeah, and like, what did they do? Coat it with codeine? Because honestly,
Yeah,
it
it
was
doesn't
just
do
like
anything.
taking a regular Tylenol. But
Well,
I
Dennis,
have a
there's-
high tolerance for pain.
They're
so I was
afraid of
okay.
getting sued these days.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
my
they
God,
don't want
absolutely.
people to get addicted.
But now
Yeah.
you can sue for about anything.
I
God
know.
damn. Like, my niece fell down inside a Kohl's, or not a Kohl's.
No, it was Ross.
A Ross.
She was wearing
went
her
shopping with
mask.
her mom. She was
Yeah.
wearing the mask. She couldn't breathe. Boom. She fell
She
down.
passed out, hit the
broke
floor.
her tooth. She just wanted some air. She couldn't breathe. So she's trying to scram outside to like reach for some air. They're like, no, you can't leave now that you fell and you broke a tooth. We have to get the ambulance, and because you might
They
sue
don't want to get
us. And-
sued, right?
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
man. It's just become it's a fucking circus right now. Just because we are going off script, these slings are dying. Do you mind actually switching to the middle camera?
Yeah, I can.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Next subject. Let's talk about James' dating life, or
Oh.
the past, or the past.
Goodness, I've
that caught you like
I've got a very very colorful past. I have dated some wonderful women.
Okay. Well, you showed me the video of your
yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Dude, very good looking girl. Gotta say.
So I've dated some really amazing girls and some that are a little crazier.
Do you regret any?
Than others?
The crazy ones are fun.
Regrets.
Do you have any regrets?
Yes, I do. I do have a. There's a couple regrets.
Okay.
First one was quite a bit older than me.
Okay.
I was 15 and she was 34.
Oh wow.
Yeah, married with a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I really regret that one. Really screwed me up.
Wow.
Well, you're kind of young then. You think, oh,
didn't
this
know-
is
yeah.
awesome, but you don't really know what you're
34,
getting
damn.
yourself into.
Yeah, it was not a good situation.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, you must like older women. I don't.
There's a power
just
dynamic there too that's a little off.
What was it that what was the attraction?
I grew up super conservative, man. So I
Okay.
grew up like very like, sex is bad, and you want
Right.
to wait till marriage,
Right.
and all this stuff, which is all good stuff to try to
Right.
hammer in your kid's head. But at some point, they're going to realize
It
that no,
backfires.
sex isn't bad, and it doesn't. It's not some awful thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't tell them about what they're getting into, then they're most
Yeah.
likely to screw up because they don't think of the consequences because they don't know what
Well,
they
that's
are.
exactly right. So we were. It was just one of these things where I'm staying late after rehearsal one night, and she decided to show me what a BJ was.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Yeah.
That
So
would do it.
So I entered into a multi-year long affair with this person,
And a kid.
and she had,
And you
yeah,
were
she
a
had
kid
I was a kid
yourself.
myself, man. Yeah, it was very
You go to
strange.
jail for that stuff nowadays. You
She
really
should have
do.
been now. It's so crazy, man. These teachers.
Oh yeah,
that-
it's been every
these
other. It feels like every other day there's a
These
teacher.
these
Oh,
but it's
female
these
teacher.
women teachers.
Yeah, female teacher.
And they're not getting. I mean, I
Who's the most famous one? Mary Kay Letourneau. Remember her?
yeah. And then the
That was
but
a
there,
long time
it's
ago.
it's also how we handle it as a society, because with young men, you're like, oh yeah, you were 15, you're
Yeah, right on,
banging
dude.
your 25-year-old teacher, good for you. But if there's a 25-year-old man that's sleeping with a teenage girl, he's in jail for years, and then it's on Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Which I'm obsessed with To Catch a Predator.
Are you?
by the way.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my-
The
And-
old To Catch a Predator, I'm obsessed with it.
It is the funniest thing. It's never a black dude. It's never like a little bit of
there's a
Mexican.
few of 'em.
A lot of white
It's
dudes
all
in
white
there.
dudes.
It's mostly
We're the-
white
well,
dudes.
it's white dudes that are the serial killers too,
Always.
man.
It's always the white creepy. Like black dudes don't go creepy and like little kids like that, but it's always the white dude that goes.
Well,
creepy
or
like
they
that.
don't show up. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
maybe.
It's the white guys that
I-
like think they're going to get
Always
out,
the
get away
white
with it.
guy.
Yeah, I have a small connection. One time, one of the guys was wearing a baseball cap, and my mom works for this freight forwarding company called AIT, and he had an AIT baseball cap on. I've scoured the internet and they only give those to people that work for the company. So he definitely was like a driver.
This has nothing to do
or
with
warehouse-
AIT, by the way.
No,
No,
of
no,
course
and we're
not.
not even giving him an
No,
applause.
of course
But,
not.
yeah.
It's just that like just seeing that and making that connection, I was like, wow, because you forget that it's a TV show, but you also forget that this is really happening.
Well,
It's
I think
really
something
happening.
happened where Hansen was sued because some guy committed suicide or something because
Did
his
he?
face
I
was
didn't
shown
know.
on.
I thought because
Well,
Hansen
yeah.
had his own problems as well outside
not
of the
with
show.
that. It
No,
was
no.
like
It's a slippery slope because I mean, entrapment is illegal. Like blackmail is illegal,
Okay.
and you can't. And I don't know.
have a
There's like this.
problem with
the-
the- I don't have a
don't
problem
either. I
setting
Yeah,
feel
catching
like the ends-
douchebags like that? Oh,
yeah,
please.
I
I
feel
don't
like the
give a crap
ends
if you trick
justify
them.
the means. Most people think the ends justify the means, but then it just takes one person's family to be pissed because they committed suicide.
To
'cause
me,
they
there
got
is
caught.
levels of being a fucking failure in life
Yeah.
and going after a
Yeah.
minor.
Yeah.
Definitely tops the fucking
well,
list.
I
Definitely tops the list.
there's a friend. I have a friend of mine that had a very bad situation.
Okay, he didn't know.
It's
Did
different if you
first.
don't know. Yeah.
What do you
At
mean?
first.
Oh, so you know at some point?
He found out later.
He fucked up.
So yeah.
That's it, he fucked up.
So there was a young lady that said that she was 21, and she he engaged in this thing, and
Right.
he found out later, and she said, "Well, actually, I'm not 21. I shouldn't be drinking with you. I'm only 18."
18 is still legal.
Well, he found out later she was not 18.
Fuck.
But then he proceeded to continue until it ended, which was not a super long time from what I understand. But he went to jail and he should have. It was
He
like
didn't
6
or he
months.
did?
No, he did.
Oh, he did. Okay.
He should have.
Statutory, yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely should have.
Wait.
Statutory rape.
So
How was life after he got out of jail?
bad.
Really bad.
Yeah,
Couldn't find
and
a
it
job.
should
It should be, right?
It should be.
For guys like these, yes, it should be.
I do think that there are there are times where I think there are degrees. If a guy's driving to the middle of the woods to meet a 12-year-old that says that she's got sweet tea waiting for him, right? If anybody ever offers me sweet tea, I'm running.
Right.
Right? Or fresh baked cookies while she's doing laundry.
Exactly.
I'm done. But
Red flag,
it's a
red
fucking
flag.
trap. Like, why even? Like, and by the way,
I'll
you're
tell you
even
what,
dumb for doing it in the
it's
first
it's an
fucking place.
addiction, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It is an
know
addiction.
because I've had an addiction to women before. Like, it's an addiction, and obviously not.
It's-
What is the
minors, but-
addiction of? Okay, so let me
Well-
ask you this, because I got an addiction as well,
Yeah.
and I've had my fights with that. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not saying on camera, I don't mind. But me, it's all about the attention. That's the part that
It's
I
the
enjoy.
adrenaline release
It's
that
the
you get
attention.
from
It's
the
not
attention.
even about the
Or
sex. It's not even
endorphins.
about this. I love the attention aspect of it.
I think that's part of it.
Okay.
Well,
is it different for? I was going to ask you. Is it different
I
for
think
you?
so. Well, so did you see the Anthony Weiner document? There's this
Oh my
great
God,
documentary.
Anthony Weiner.
I know, but here's the thing. This guy was charming.
poor wife.
I know. Well,
She's awesome.
So there's this documentary called Weiner.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
he like made himself.
I didn't watch it, but I watched.
It's
I listened
great.
to a podcast
You
where
guys
they
have
talked about
to
it,
see
and we should
this
watch
movie. It's great. So he made it for himself. It's his own guys. He paid his own guy to like follow him around with camera and tell his story. And you see this guy who like had a possibly promising career.
Okay.
He was.
Oh yeah, he could have definitely been president one day if he would have played his cards right.
He's douchey and creepy, but
Oh,
at the
you're
same
talking
time.
about the guy played by Hugh Jackman.
no,
No,
that's a different movie. My bad,
Anthony
my bad.
Weiner was he
was
senator?
in New York.
Okay.
Congress?
I don't
Senator.
know. Let me check.
All
I'm
right.
not 100% sure.
Okay.
But he was running. Wasn't he running for some? Was he running,
running
for mayor?
Yeah. So Uma Abedin, is that his
Yeah,
wife?
that's his wife. Yeah,
This
she's like
gorgeous,
Hillary's right hand.
classy, beautiful woman.
Amazing.
They have a child together, and she's just like the picture of class.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
she's got her own, obviously she like has her own political, her own kind of political aspirations, and they're both fighting together to like. She's at this point she was Hillary's like
Right hand.
right hand,
Her go-to.
her first
second in command.
yeah, her first mate. And just these things that he starts doing, man. And
So dumb.
If he would have come
Behind
out,
closed doors, or
So
what
dumb.
happened?
Nothing is behind closed doors.
well,
it's
all
2020.
so it was texting. And it was
Okay.
all texting, and it was texting these women. and
Facebook.
He was he gave himself the name Carlos Danger. Yeah, right. I think
like
it was.
you couldn't write it.
Yeah.
It was just too much.
So, and he
It
would
was
send
too
these
much.
selfies on like Twitter, and he would
Yeah.
reach out to these girls and send
Yep.
these selfies.
young girls. Well, not underage, but like they were like in their early 20s.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad.
they were young.
and he would be found out, and then his wife would find out, and then she would stand by his side where they had this big press conference, and he
Yeah.
was very like
Sorry
sorry,
and
and
all that.
it's something, and it wasn't that bad, it really,
Nothing
and so then
happened,
he
blah,
kept
blah, blah.
going for and he was so defensive of
he
himself.
almost he almost was able to turn the corner, and he could have.
He was close,
He
right?
could have still become mayor, and
Yeah.
everyone could have forgave him, but then it happened again.
and again,
Oh, so he does
and
it
again.
again.
And again.
Yeah.
And again.
So it just kept it just
just
kept
kept
happening. But if he would have just come out and said, "Listen,
I was
I
weak. I made a mistake. It was
Yeah.
a one-time thing.
if he said, "I like texting sexual things
Right.
with girls in
So
their
now
20s,"
it becomes a different addiction.
But I'm
Now
not
you
seeing
enjoy
them, yeah.
doing that kind of shit.
it was.
you know what
I
mean?
think
Yeah.
the secrecy was part of it.
I think so.
You know, and I know that like I get the addiction part of
Right.
it, because you like there's this thing about about women, about that whole like lifestyle of being able to not have anybody say no. Listen, I've got some friends that are actors,
Oh, cool.
and the
That's
idea
even- right.
of
That's
never
a deeper world.
the idea of never having anybody say no,
Mm-hmm.
or people throwing themselves at you
Right. How could you
constantly.
say
yeah.
no all the time?
If you're an alcoholic, here's the thing: if you're an alcoholic,
You avoid
and
alcohol
You
when
avoid
you-
alcohol.
You're fine.
But when somebody's shoving a glass of whiskey to your face
Think
all the
about it,
time,
man.
you're gonna say no for the first 100 times, but 101,
Yeah.
you're gonna fucking say
It's
yes.
similar
Yeah.
for.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
think of
at
it
one
similar for
point-
food. People have struggles
Right.
with food or eating disorders
Donuts.
or overeating
It's
or
just-
binging.
we're
Like you
humans.
can't
We're
escape
not
food. It's always
perfect.
there.
We're not
You need it
angels.
to live.
We're humans.
Well, it's all
we're
about
gonna
that.
fuck up.
It's all about that endorphin dump, right?
Yeah, it's the dopamine.
It's the dopamine.
The
Wait,
dopamine
we
hit you
can
get.
swear at Patreon, right? It's not a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure.
On my
that we check
Patreon, there probably is quite a bit of swearing. I'm sure.
Perfect. I just want to make sure that we're.
Those are done. So we're just
Okay,
filming
cool.
with the
But
Very
the dopamine, that dopamine dump and that dopamine release it's a very real thing.
It
man.
is.
I mean, it's crazy that like Anthony Weiner, he never was able to come to terms with why he had those addictions.
Well, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too.
For sure.
That's the problem of it.
And he
Yeah.
didn't see it as that bad. And I've
He was a congressman, by the way.
he was Congress, thank you.
Yeah, congressman.
Are all politicians douchebags now?
No, I mean, I just
This
you have
one
that,
was.
You have that spotlight
Because this
So
one sounds like he had the
normal-
perfect life. A good
normal
wife.
douchiness.
He was on
Oh
track
yeah,
of being a
and
mayor.
she's Muslim and he's Jewish, so I'm sure they faced a little animosity from family.
was he?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So she still married him, like,
Oh, wow.
which is a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, beautiful kid. Like it was really sad.
Beautiful.
And
Picture
to watch
perfect family.
To watch her face and to watch that
She was so
humiliation
embarrassed, so
of
embarrassed.
that
Sucks.
and it
for
was,
something that she hadn't. It was not her fault
and
whatsoever.
sounds like a hard-working woman
And she
that
took
worked
a
hard
bullet.
all her life to get to
Yeah,
that.
she's like, you're
Right.
not going to mess it up for me. I have this plan and I'm not going to let you mess it up for me. So you better knock this crap off.
Oh, so she stuck with him.
She
Okay.
stayed with him.
okay. She
Yes.
stayed with
it
him.
broke my heart, man. I watched her face just sink into this like
'Cause
Do they have a
she's-
documentary about this?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
we're going to watch
Give
it.
him a
We'll watch
plug
it
in.
tonight.
Wiener.
Wiener.
Where is
Wiener.
it? Netflix, Hulu?
I don't know. Let's
Wiener,
see.
Find
Wiener
it.
the documentary.
There
I think
you go.
Just,
Look
I think
it up.
I think it just came out.
I'm definitely gonna watch it tonight. Sounds like a very interesting
You
story.
absolutely must. But I totally get that because I've been in those situations where you get the attention, you get
Right.
the you
And
get
mostly
the,
when you're doing the shit you're doing, you're a musician. You're
Yeah.
things, you got your own venues
You-
going.
yeah,
you got
but
a
I
lot of
feel
shit.
like-
You travel. You're an American across the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There is a lot of things that kind of it kind of sets you up for failure. You just gotta know how to handle it. It
Well,
can be too much
some
for
people
sure.
can't.
Definitely.
Well, some people have a hard time like
Handling it.
resisting their
Right.
inner
Absolutely.
demons. And he probably thought like, nah, it's not gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna get caught. 'Cause
What
you never
was the
think it's gonna
country
happen
that
to
you
you.
went to that you got the most attention just for being an American?
oh gosh.
That's a good one.
How do I
Right.
there's so I mean I was
Prague?
Singapore, maybe
Singapore?
Dubai.
Okay.
I would say
The cool thing about Dubai, they got that melting pot going for them as
Yeah.
well. They
Yeah.
got so
many
many
Brits.
Oh god,
lots
yeah.
of expats.
And by the way,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of Europeans don't come out and live here in the U.S. I'm not saying none of them do, but I'm just saying a lot of them don't. But
Oh,
in
yeah.
Dubai, you find a lot of French people, a
Yeah.
lot of English.
well, it's really easy
German.
to come there to
Australian.
I think they pay them so
To
much
immigrate
money. It's
there,
kind of
yeah.
hard to say no.
well, and they make it it's very Western.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It is.
when you go into the mall
Yeah.
there, it's like going into
Oh, look,
South
there's
Coast
a
Plaza.
Cold Stone.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, it's
And
it's,
it's,
They have
I
everything.
get that a lot of people they keep hearing about the rules in Dubai, like you get arrested for. No, you
No.
don't get arrested unless
We've
if you
seen
make a
people
rumpus.
walking in the
Drunk.
beach in a bikini,
Yes.
and then the girl next to them's wearing the whole get
As long as you're respectful,
Like,
nobody
does-
will talk
yeah.
to you.
if you're cool,
Yeah.
they're cool.
Exactly.
But that's
If you're
just like
cool, they're
anywhere,
Don't
right?
be acting
I
like a
agree.
dummy
Yeah.
in the street, and you'll be fine.
Talking
Yeah.
about that story, I'm gonna tell you guys about the time I almost got arrested in Singapore.
Yeah.
It was for chewing gum. Literally, it's not even that long of a story. I chewed gum. I had it. You can't even buy gum in Singapore.
Yeah, they don't sell it.
So I was
But
traveling.
you can buy chewable mints.
Could you?
You can buy chewable mints.
I know
yeah.
they're okay. So I bought
'Cause
a
they
Red Bull
dissolve.
from there, and it was the weirdest Red Bull I ever tasted.
Really? Why? What was it?
It was weird. Taste. It
tasted
was
weird?
not. Yes, it was weird.
Yeah.
The taste was not the
I
same.
love
at
Singapore,
all.
so
Yeah, he likes it. I don't know.
They
I'm
were
okay. Never going back.
they were
there
too much
again.
for him.
Singapore.
It was a little too much. But anyways, I'm chewing my gum that I brought from Dubai, and I threw it on the ground, which was kind of fucked up for me. I know I should have
you're
looked
an
for
asshole,
a
man.
I was being an asshole. You're right about that. So I should have looked for a garbage can and threw it. But I was being a dickhead and whatever. So, and then I see a cop running across the street, like speaking a different language to me. And I'm like, oh shit, what did I just do? So he comes in and he speaks to me like, first of all, speak English. He's like, yep. And he starts speaking very broken English to me, which, I completely understand because English is there like a second language over there? Third language?
I think English is
It's
gotta be
probably the
first.
second.
For Chinese
Well,
and
they're
But
English.
I'm not the
official.
kind of guy who likes to bash people for not speaking English, so I'm so okay. I was in their country. I was ignorant. I didn't respect the rules. and I almost paid for it. But
You don't throw gamla.
You don't throw gamla, like he said. So he comes in, he asked me for my passport, whatever. He took me back to the hotel. He wanted me to gather my thing. Thankfully, the manager of the hotel was such a nice guy. Came down, talked to him, explained to him who I was. I was just on a business trip. It was my first time in Singapore. Came into me and he was like, all right, just don't fucking do it again. I was like, yeah, trust me, I'm never leaving the hotel again. That's a promise.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do like
I'll tell a story too. Yassine is French, but he's also partly Moroccan, and we've been to Morocco a lot of times to see like your grandmother and stuff like that. And we were in the market looking at shoes. I don't know if you remember this, but we were looking at shoes, and I was wandering by myself, and I'm blonde, green,
American
eyes,
girl
look
in
very
Morocco,
white.
right? You could see you 100 miles away.
So exactly, I stick out like a sore thumb. But I do speak a little bit of Darija.
Yes, she
Moroccan
does. So
Arabic.
she actually learned how to speak not only Arabic, the Moroccan dialect of Morocco, which is even
well,
much.
because
I'm impressed.
for your family and to be able to communicate and what being
I just know
surrounded by it.
Shukran, right?
Yeah,
That was
thank you. And we're in the market, and this dude starts trying to rip me off for these Moroccan sandals, the regular house ones that everybody, not even the fancy ones with the high heels, nothing. And I'm like looking at him like and I told him in Darija, I was like, I'm not paying that much. That's too much. And then he sees you walk up behind me because I think you could see the look on my face. And you're like, what's the problem here? And the guy, as soon as I started speaking
blue.
Arabic, he turned purple.
He was that embarrassed?
He was super embarrassed because I mean, we're talking
Because,
about 20 dirham sandals, which is like $2.
Yeah, $2. He wanted to sell it to her for like $40 and $50.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know. You know what I mean? So every time they see you, and by the way, that's not only a Morocco thing.
No, that's an everywhere thing.
Country
I'm not naive.
When they see a blonde girl from a different race, of course, they know you're bringing in more money.
Yeah.
You know, so you just got to be careful with that. It's nothing new to us. You know, you just got to watch out for yourself.
See, that happened to me in Mexico. I wanted to buy this like hand-carved chess set.
Okay.
And they tried to charge me like $2,000 for this thing, and so I started speaking to them in Spanish, and I got it for $100. You know.
There you go. Then they calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
One country that I had the same experience. China. China, they don't know how to take no. For like, no, I'm not interested. They follow you the whole
and they're
time.
angry,
and they're angry, and they're like, no. And I'm like, I'm not interested anymore. I'm good. And they're like, no, they don't not.
Where were you in China?
Shanghai, Beijing,
okay,
Hong Kong. Hong Kong is not really part.
I like Hong Kong.
I don't mind Hong Kong.
There's an interesting thing.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know if Hong Kong people likes to be called Chinese because I know they. Well,
I mean, they're part of. I mean, especially with all the
ethnically, they're Chinese.
Okay, but
it's like if okay. So my dad is Assyrian, which is native to Iraq, but they don't have a country. So think Palestinians, kind of like along those lines. It'd be like the difference between calling somebody Assyrian and calling them Middle Eastern.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So you are Middle Eastern technically, but you're not Arab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Well, and in
so they're Chinese ethnically, but they're from Hong Kong, which is its own.
Yeah, it's a very specific
place.
thing. We'll talk to a Taiwanese person saying they're Chinese and they're not Chinese. There's
definitely
Taiwan is a different country.
Yes.
Yeah.
All Asian countries are not the same, ladies and gentlemen.
But Hong Kong, one of a diversion into the Disney thing. The castle in Hong Kong, which they just did a brand new castle. There's these mountains behind the castle at Hong Kong Disneyland. You couldn't pay to have those mountains anywhere. You couldn't afford it. So there's a shitty little castle, which is like the Disneyland one, but just done cheaply because Eisner didn't want to pay much for it.
Yeah.
So there's this crummy little castle, but then there's these beautiful mountains, and when it rains, you've got these waterfalls cascading down these mountains behind the Disneyland castle. I just got chills.
Yeah.
So it's really, really beautiful.
Wow.
Did you hear about the new Nintendo area that they're doing at Universal out there?
I did.
I saw some pictures the other day, and I freaked out because I
Really?
love Zelda, Mario.
Oh yeah,
That's really cool.
She's a huge Star Wars fan.
A real
huge
Mario
Star
Kart.
Wars
They got
fan.
it's like they have like Mario Kart for real type
it
thing,
looks
right?
like it literally looks like they took the levels from Super Mario.
Yeah, even like those
and
gold
put it in
coins,
real life.
they're like turning
they're
around
spinning.
and shit.
They got
Like,
the
that
little
was
blocks
really
with
cool.
the little blocks with the question marks. They got the little
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. I actually want to go check it out.
Is it all projection?
No, I think it's like animatronic.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Because you'll see the little Koopa guys like walking, waddling around, and you'll see the shells and like even the flowers, the power-ups.
Oh my God.
Everything.
So my brother works for a
And it-
theming company.
Yeah, it changes landscapes too. So
That sounds amazing.
it'll be like the desert part with the little mountainy things, and you know how because Mario has the different areas.
Well,
you know?
my brother works for this. They do theme parks. They do all kinds. It's called Storyland Studios. They do incredible stuff. But one of the best theme parks I've ever been to is in Amsterdam.
Okay.
And it is called Efteling.
Okay.
And they out Disney like the amount of money that they spent on this park. They've got this incredible ride. It's a trackless vehicle, and I want to call it Symbolica. Yeah, Symbolica. Everything is their own IP. So there's no like outside branded licensing stuff. It's all their own stuff. Right. They have a full orchestral themed soundtrack with every ride. They create all of these orchestrations. The rides themselves are like hundreds of millions of dollars on these things, and it's like nobody really talks about it. They're unbelievable, this theme park, and it's got one of the best roller coasters I've ever been on.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It's incredible. There's a roller coaster that's like a Viking themed roller coaster. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean though.
Right.
So you start out on a boat, and you're going through this like Pirates of the Caribbean Viking thing with the water. It's a dark ride, and there's this 100-foot waterfall in front of you, and you go up through this waterfall that's got this big dragon and all this stuff. The waterfall parts, and all of a sudden it turns into a roller coaster.
Right.
So picture Pirates of the Caribbean boats all of a sudden turning into a roller coaster, and I'm talking like outside going around. It's unbelievable. So that's my plug for Efteling. You were going to ask me about the women I did. I have one dating story that it's a bad dating story. Oof.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's this girl that I met through a mutual friend. And she was a model. She was hot.
It's always with the models.
Yeah, well.
You can't be beautiful and not crazy. Yeah. They kind of go hand in hand.
So
you can't be that
I'm
pretty.
beautiful and not crazy.
Well, I mean like ethereal model beautiful. They're usually just a little bit.
Yeah.
So what happened to this girl?
So we started talking. I was excited, and so I met her for the first time, and we had a great time, like dating and going to dinner, and we definitely hit it off. So we started dating a bit. So maybe I don't know, we were dating for maybe a month or so.
Okay.
So I was doing a project at the studio, and I'd been like just arguing all day, and it was very difficult with this thing that I was trying to negotiate. And I told her, I said, listen, I've had a really rough day. I'll pick you up, but just please, could we just do something very chill?
Right.
Just I'll show up. You'll be in, we'll get some pizza or something.
Right.
So I show up, and she's dressed to the nines.
Oh shit!
At like 9 p.m. I finally get there, and I'm in a t-shirt and jeans.
So you're late and you're underdressed.
Well, I knew I was going to pick her up about 9. I was maybe 20 minutes late. So I show up, and she's in high heels and a dress, and she looks.
Wait, what's going on with the
camera's overheating a little.
Is it really?
It's hot.
It's showing me the temperature on the screen, so I can see that it's like.
Just blow on it.
Just blow on.
I have to finish my
No, go for it. Go for it.
It doesn't involve blowing.
Go for it.
So I say, listen, you look fantastic, and she's like, well, I was hoping that you would take me to dinner. I said, I'm gonna take you to dinner. We're gonna get something to eat, but please, I've had the worst day. I don't want to go out and like see people. So she's like, all right. So she goes and changes. And she's in, her cute little sweatshirt and stuff. So we drive out to Santa Monica. There's just Santa Monica Pier, the fun zone, when we could actually go out and like see people. And,
the fun stuff.
Before the apocalypse.
Real life. Yeah. So I'm driving around, and it was like $18 to park at the fun zone. And I'm like, I'm not paying $18 to park. It's 10 o'clock at night. They're only open for another hour. And I'm not doing that. She's like, oh, no, you're not gonna you really want me to walk like that? I said, yeah, we're going to find a parking place, right? I'm not going to spend $18.
Yeah.
So I'm driving.
When was this?
Years ago.
Okay.
Like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Six
Not that long ago.
No. 6 years ago, maybe.
Got it.
So
so you're a hard day.
Yeah. So I pulled behind like this Mexican restaurant that I knew closed.
Okay.
And I asked one of the guys, I'm like, hey, can we park it? Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
So it was at the top of the Santa Monica Pier.
Okay.
So we walk, and we have a really fun time. She's kind of weird, but fine. We're playing skee ball and putting in quarters and grab a piece of pizza.
I know which one you
very
played skee ball at, the one right at the pier. Like
yeah, exactly.
The
Santa Monica Fun Zone.
Right.
So we get back to the house, and she's acting really like kind of pissy.
Right.
And so I said, everything okay? She's like, well, yeah, I just felt really undervalued tonight. I said, what are you talking about? She said, well, I just like, I don't know, like I'm seeing you as the potential father of my children.
Whoa,
like,
on the first date?
No, this is like after we've been dating about a month or so.
Okay.
So
but still, a month or so?
Yeah. So she's like, I see the potential.
No, you don't get to say that. We got married right away.
We were also 19.
It works. It
does work. Sometimes it does work, so don't even...
It can work.
We were also 19.
We're not doing the whole double standard.
Well, I wasn't like madly in love with it. If I had been madly in love with this girl, that would have been a different story.
And she should have read the
She was just hot. That's all.
Yeah.
So then she says, I'm seeing, and I'm like really concerned that you're not, like, if you don't want to pay for parking, like, how are you going to provide for a family?
Oh, shit.
It's not that you can't pay for parking, it's that you don't want to.
Bitch.
There's a difference.
If you have any idea how much money I spend on my family and take care of my kids and what I lost in my divorce, like, you have no clue.
Yeah.
What I've been through.
Right.
And you do sort of have a clue.
Hell and back,
for you to think that I don't have the ability to provide for a family.
So was it the judgment that pissed you off the most, or was it just the attitude?
It was the implication that you couldn't afford it.
No,
it's different between can't not afford it and not want to waste the money on it. There's a difference.
Well, and that was it. And I said, I basically said, and then she like said, oh, I didn't mean to upset you. I said, listen, it's fine, but like I have the fact that you just, so I ended up sleeping with her.
You don't really know me then.
Right. And then...
Wait, it took you a month to sleep with her?
No.
Okay, got it.
Then I ended up
He
sleeping
still
with
slept with her even after this.
Well,
bullshit.
that was the point. I'm like, I'm not...
But that's a guy move.
I knew, the moment she said that, I knew I was walking out of there.
That's it.
But I was going to at least get
One
last hurrah.
last hurrah.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
So then I ended up, then we got into an argument after.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to let her get away with that shit.
Yeah.
So I basically said, here's the thing. You're the fact that you have no kids, you have never been married, no divorces, anything like that. The fact that you think that you somehow have more to bring to the table than me.
Right. It's ridiculous.
That's because
With everything I've been through, with the experience, I said, if you want to talk Keynesian economics, or you want to talk about Alexander Solzhenitsyn and the Gulag Archipelago, or you want to discuss anything in life that's going to contribute, then we can like maybe start like leveling things out to see what you're able to contribute to the world.
Yeah,
I said, but if the only thing you're able to contribute is the fact that you're attractive, you've got no different body parts than me.
It's just a different arrangement.
So let's stop pretending like you've got more to bring to the table.
Right.
Well, it's a symptom of this image conscious, very instant gratification world that we live in now.
The world has been changing.
Well, I basically said to her, man, I said,
you gotta adopt it.
She's probably had people treating her like she walks on water her whole life.
Problem.
Just because she's pretty.
And she's so and I basically
you know
said,
what you were walking into
I
when
need
you said
somebody. Yeah, but I need somebody that's gonna eat crackers under a bridge with me.
Right.
That's my thought.
No.
And it could be,
through the
but
tough
just
times.
not this chick.
Well, no, because just the parking is a hiccup to her. Imagine if you had an actual real hiccup in your life, this COVID or something.
I don't know what you think
she'd
of
be
this,
like gone.
Does it make her a bad
disappeared.
person because she's got a level of life that she wants to keep or maintain? Not really.
It makes her a bad person because she thought that she had more value than my time.
That's the issue.
Okay.
My time is the most valuable thing I have in this world.
Nothing is more valuable.
And if I'm,
because you can't get time back.
Forget money.
Right.
Forget if I had more money than her.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't. The most precious thing I have is my time.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact
you're
that,
choosing to spend it with her instead of with your children.
Well, she never paid for a meal. She
or
never.
Other people.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah.
But you're choosing to spend your most valuable asset on her.
I blame men though. I blame men.
We set the standard.
We lift these women on pedestals
just because of how they look.
Because of how they look instead of what they have to bring.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you can make me laugh.
On that one, I agree 100%.
If you can make me laugh, if you're amazing at back scratches and baking banana bread.
If you're cute, You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be, and that's the fucking.
I don't tolerate that anymore,
Yeah.
man. I don't. I'm
you
too
need
old.
something with more substance because you're going to get bored.
At a certain age, and
The
age
looks
comes
get- the looks
plenty
get
of
boring.
experience. There's some certain BS that you're not gonna take.
Well, and here's the other thing, and this really got her. I said, in 5 years, honey, you're going to be so far out of the marketplace because there are 22 and 23-year-olds coming up that are going to replace you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
My work ethic doesn't stop.
I mean,
I'm just going to get sexier and sexier because of my work ethic.
How many models are there that are still model material? Not that many. I mean, let's say Linda Evangelista, Cindy Crawford.
If these women act,
They're still
they'll stay.
beautiful. But I mean, like,
Way, I'd be
they're
okay.
still.
Yeah,
Jane
right.
Seymour is still,
Right.
in my opinion, Jane Seymour's still so
They're
gorgeous.
still, yeah, but like, how many Jane Seymours are there?
Very few.
Compared to how many
Christy Brinkley,
actresses
though.
there
Right.
are.
Have you seen Christy Brinkley still?
They
She's
did.
amazing.
Holy
She
shit.
looks
Yeah.
Great. That's one.
So
girl.
this girl's no Christy Brinkley, so she
Like,
needs
my
to calm
wife would
down.
give me a pass
You know
on
what I mean?
And she should.
And she should.
But
As long as I still get my John Hamm pass.
you could,
Sure.
I would say you get a job.
John Hamm, yeah,
Apparently,
sure.
so my an ex-girlfriend of mine, he was good friends with a neighbor of hers, and he used to go over there all the time.
He
Apparently,
seems like such
he was
a chill guy. The nicest.
sweetest, most
You know what?
down-to-earth
He's
guy.
super good looking, but there is one who I think is better looking, but I would rather spend time with John Hamm because he seems more chill. Is Henry? What's his name? Cavill.
Superman.
Superman. Oh my god.
Although there will never be another Superman than Chris Reeve for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I
But
mean,
he's-
like,
he's a
he's
close
so,
second.
I mean, John Hamm is
Even
just
though his
as
numbers
gorgeous,
didn't
but
really
he seems like he'd be more
smash
fun.
But
I thought he would be a good James Bond.
Henry Cavill.
he
Yes.
is on the running for that.
Yes,
I
he's
think
one
he'd
of
be a
the
great.
names.
Yeah.
He's one
Except
of the
Daniel
names.
Craig is exactly the
James Bond.
He is
You
the
okay
James
with
Bond
them trying
in the
to make
book.
James Bond block. Like, are you okay with that? Or
I don't care about the race.
I think Idris
no,
Elba would
I don't
be
care
good.
about the race,
He's an
but
amazing
we grew
actor.
up looking at James Bond a certain thing. Like, why do we gotta change
Well,
everything just because of
That's
the?
like what he's saying. Daniel Craig is the only one who actually looks like how James Bond was
Right.
described in the books. Sean Connery
No, you know
doesn't
who
look-
is though? Is George Lazenby. He only did the one movie. He did it on
I'd have to see what he
Majesty
looks
Secret
like.
Service.
Right.
George Lazenby looks like Bond from
Books.
from Ian Fleming's books.
Yeah.
Bond is supposed to look like Hoagie Carmichael with a
Okay.
scar. But the way he's described is exactly Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Bond,
like, James Bond, like, when he fought, James Bond would, like, pick up chairs and tables and shit and throw them at
Right.
people. James Bond was not like a fisticuffs English gentleman.
I always forgot his name, but my favorite guy to be a James Bond.
Pierce
I think
Brosnan?
No, Craig. What's his
Not
name? The
Craig.
guy who was in.
Okay.
No.
Timothy Dalton.
Sean Connery is the
Sean
first.
Connery.
No, he wasn't a James Bond.
I love
would have
Timothy
wanted him
Dalton.
to be a James Bond. What's his name? Oh my god, I always forget his name. The guy,
The one that you want to be James Bond? Who? Tom
Yeah.
Hardy?
Tom Hardy would have been a good James Bond. Actually,
You
too.
like?
I
You
think
always
so.
forget his
Love
name. That's the only reason I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
it.
Henry
Tom
Cavill
Hardy.
might be a little too.
Tom Hardy would have been
Henry
little too
Cavill's a
good-looking.
little too proper.
He's a little too pretty.
Or the guy from Sons of Anarchy. What's his name?
Oh, Charlie Hunnam?
The guy who was in King
Something like
Arthur.
that?
You know what I'm talking about?
Hold on, yeah.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, he would have been.
was supposed
he's
to
a
be-
little
Yeah.
riggedy for a James Bond.
He was supposed to be
but-
the original guy in 50 Shades of Grey till they replaced him with the other
Oh,
guy
he
because
would've
there was a
been
conflict.
great in
He
that.
had,
Oh,
like,
50
some-
Shades, man. So, my most recent long-term ex-girlfriend, we were watching 50 Shades of Grey in the movie theater. She wanted to go see it. It was like a $2
Oh,
movie
it's
theater in
horrible
Burbank.
movie. The books were so cheesy and corny.
I
knew
was
that
gonna
be cheesy and corny
I
movie.
was roaring
It's hilarious
with laughter.
Yeah, it's
I
too
was
much.
in the movie
I didn't
theater. I
like
was,
it.
He
and
couldn't
I like
even-
was.
I hated it. I watched 20 minutes of it and I
I
stopped.
had tears streaming down my face.
Did you
the acting
enjoy
was so
it?
bad.
Is that what you're trying?
Fuck no! There was nothing.
No,
there was
to
nothing
enjoy.
in my opinion.
Right.
There was nothing
And they did
sexy
a
about it.
second one.
Okay, but
didn't
hold
they?
on. There's a new movie on Netflix. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called 365 Days.
Okay.
And it blew up on TikTok because it's like supposed to be darker than 50 Shades was. And so there's this
Jesus.
Italian mobster. He has this near-death experience. He gets shot. He sees this woman in his vision, like before he like passes out, almost dies.
Jesus.
He runs into her at a resort in Italy. She's there on vacation for her birthday, right? And with her boyfriend. She's Polish. And her boyfriend's Polish, and he's just a grade A douchebag, you know, whatever. She's gorgeous, but she looks like a normal girl, but pretty.
Right.
Very pretty. But not like, oh my
Right.
God.
I get it.
Anyway, so everybody in his life's telling him he's never going to find this girl. He finds her. He kidnaps her, like literally kidnaps her.
Oh, Jesus.
After she has a fight with her boyfriend at the pool and takes off, and she's just walking around Italy.
So he kidnapped her.
He kidnapped her, and he's like, "You have 365 days to fall in love with me."
Jesus Christ! Don't spoil it for people.
Anyway, but it is. I'll give it to them that it seemed a little more raunchy to me than 50 Shades was. It had an MA rating.
Right.
And
it's
a I don't know if it's a Polish movie or an Italian
It's on
movie.
Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I didn't know that
I think
Netflix
it's
had
a
that
Polish
stuff.
No, they do.
movie,
Yeah, they do have a
but
lot of,
but a lot of it is done in English.
Right.
And it's
Interesting.
supposedly it's books too.
No,
There's
Netflix
3
has been
books.
blowing up. They've been all over the world now.
Yeah,
I'm proud of
but
them.
everybody's
I
been
know.
freaking
They're
out
making a
about
ton
this
of
movie.
money.
Yeah, I know.
And they deserve it, man. They killed Blockbuster.
I watched that
know.
movie like a day. I on and off when you were not watching it with me. I had on my phone my headphones, and I'm like, I gotta see if this
all
is
those
actually
movies, I thought
good.
it was so... I tend to be traditionally very dominant masculine in my relationships, and it just seemed like this guy was just such a pussy.
It's the underlying vulnerability that they're trying to push across,
I get
because
it, but
women want someone who's strong but vulnerable.
Well,
and
listen,
all that cliche, garbage.
If the whole
Right.
third wave feminism
Right.
thing.
No, women want a man who's gonna be there to take charge when they need him.
Absolutely, but they're talking about all the third wave feminists came out and talking about equality and stuff, and then you look at the sales of 50 Shades of Grey, which the guy basically has a contract that she's submissive to him,
Right.
And these women
Yeah.
could not get enough
They
of
were
it
eating it alive
because their
Sounds
husbands
like a
are
seeking arrangement kind
because
of
their
story.
husbands are all pushovers.
That's exactly what it is. Because the husbands are all Mr. Nice Guys,
Right.
and women don't like nice. I don't care what anybody says. Women like good men.
And this is the reality we live in. This stuff happens, actually.
I keep telling my
Because it gets boring if you tell your husband to jump and he says how
Right.
high.
There's a friend of
It gets boring
mine
after a
that is
while.
the sweetest guy that is always buying stuff for chicks. He's always flying. He gives them his airline points to fly them. I said, dude, you are putting too much value on
Right.
them. You are giving them undue value because they've done nothing to deserve that. It would be the reverse as well.
Right.
I said, but if as much value as you have to give, you're acting like they automatically have so much more than
Right.
you
You
because
give
you're
them so
just
by
much-
being in your
right.
presence.
piling
Yeah.
it on
Yeah.
them, and then they get it goofed up in their head. And I used to do that when I was
Right.
young, and now
You learn. Like with age, you
live
learn. You become
and
like
learn.
a wine, and you
But
become
this is where I'll give
more knowledgeable and
average
a lot of things.
pretty looking women the ticket, because I feel like these girls who are super gorgeous, like I said,
They don't have to
have
work
kind
hard
of
for it.
skated
Right.
their
Yeah.
whole life. And I mean, let's just be honest, the better looking you are, the nicer people are to
Right.
you.
sure.
Absolutely.
So if you,
You
have
get
that
handed things when- I
genetic
wouldn't know that,
struggle,
but yeah.
we're not being that good looking. Yeah, you have to work a little harder.
Yeah.
So the blonde bombshell at work might get the promotion over the plain Jane just because she's a blonde bombshell.
Well,
I mean,
and the
let's be
plain
honest.
Jane is going to be the one that's the CEO of the company because she's had to work and
Harder,
be
twice as hard.
much smarter,
Yeah. And much,
much
more
more
pushy
creative.
and having to make your squeaky wheel gets the grease and all that's good stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I think I'm pretty. I'm not supermodel.
That's when you're supposed to say
But-
she's stunningly
That-
beautiful.
I
Gino,
know.
is this a test?
He's like,
Is this a
wait,
test?
what am I supposed
Wait,
to say?
what am I supposed to
No,
do
better
right now?
not
Is this a
screw that.
test?
Hold on, but I'm not freaking
You see what I did? I
Cindy
just kept quiet.
Crawford.
I was like, I
so
wanna
I
see where
know
this
my
is
limit,
going.
so I don't push the limit and intentionally being an asshole to get what I want, because that's not something I'm going to get away with. You
Right.
got to be realistic.
Right.
I mean, and so
Right,
these
right,
girls know they can get away with it, because if this guy doesn't like it, they're just going to move on to the next
When I
one who'll
tell
put
you,
up with it.
Some of the most beautiful women I've ever known. These guys don't understand. I'm so nice. I buy them stuff, and they're
That's not what they
why
want.
Why are they
They could
dating
buy it
the rapper?
themselves.
I
Right.
said, dude, come on. The rapper doesn't put them on a
It
There's
does-
a
no.
reason.
Makes them earn
There's
it.
a reason that the most beautiful
We
women in
let
the
them
world
get away with so much when they're a level of
Of course.
absolutely.
The reason that the most beautiful women in the world tend to date the guys that are assholes is because the guys that are assholes
They don't give
take
them the
'em
shit that the
down
nice guys-
a peg.
yes.
And no woman,
Something is you like something better when you have to earn it. You
Well,
enjoy it more.
absolutely, and no woman wants to sleep with a man that's higher value than her, higher status than her. I mean,
Yeah.
lower status than her.
No, it's emasculating.
So if a woman's here and a guy just keeps pedestaling her, so she just higher and higher, no woman is interested in him. She would much rather date the guy who's living at home, that's smoking weed and bumming around, that treats her like garbage, that puts her down 15. I'm not saying it's moral,
Right.
but that's why these women do it. That's why the women stay with the guys. They're bums. They cheat on them. They're talking to other chicks. But the guys push the women down enough.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not saying it's human nature. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not.
Right.
No, it's completely toxic.
It's completely toxic. But if you look at it, that's why you see these women going back to these guys, especially actors, that are complete assholes. That are total douchebags.
Yeah.
But it's because everybody else has been elevating these women up so high.
Yeah.
This is exclusively for the James
Yes, we're not
Mulligan.
sharing
That's
this
right.
anywhere else.
Okay, so one last thing before I let you go.
Yeah.
I know you worked at the Playboy radio for a while.
Yeah.
I need
Again, I need one juicy
good story.
One good
Just
story.
one.
I'll tell you my Playboy mansion.
Right, and that's how we're gonna end it. We're gonna wrap
story.
it up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Juiciest part for the end.
The juiciest part.
I don't know
of
how
the end.
juicy. So I figured it was juicier. I'm going to show up at the mansion.
It's going to be chicks everywhere.
And there's just going to be just naked girls everywhere. So there was a date, and it was movie night, and it's some friend So I had done some art direction stuff with Playboy, and I was doing a whole series of things for Playboy, and I was like the guy. So Hef invites us to movie night for Friday, and movie nights at the Playboy Mansion are very chill. You've got the open bar and the bartender's out there, Brian, and then you've got you just walk around and see the grounds and everything, and it's like Johnny Crawford from The Rifleman. Right. It's like old school, old actors that Hef has known for 60 years, that have always kind of been there. So it's like family, right? So I get there, I show up with my date.
You'd win there with a date.
Well, I wouldn't mind going to a date if I get to go to the Playboy Mansion. I mean, come on.
That's not something you take a date to.
It was probably just as
Well,
exciting for her.
I don't know. That's maybe the
finish the
douchey
story.
in me. Okay.
Let me finish the story. So, and I had already known multiple playmates. I was friends with them. I was friends with girls that were
It's not that taboo anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So I show up there, Mr. Mulligan, I'm glad to have you. They take my car, and the valet takes my car. Go in. We had the best time, and it was literally Hef, and like everybody was over 70 something.
Right.
Oh no.
Hef had his earphones on, so he could it was the special things that
So he can
was
hear
deaf.
it because he's old.
Well, he was at the time. Hef was what, mid 80s.
Shit.
So
Still
and then
Hugh
Crystal,
Hefner, though.
Crystal was there. I shouldn't even say her name, but whatever. So she was there, and she's texting.
We don't do any editing in here.
Well, she's texting the whole time, sitting next to him, and I'm looking, and I'm watching her just text away, and he's just oblivious. And we're looking at this. It's this horrible Richard Gere movie from the '80s. It was awful.
Officer and Gentleman.
No, that's a good one. It was like a bad B movie.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I had 8 martinis.
Ooh.
That would do it.
Yeah, it was bad. So I'm watching. Oh, and then this is my other edible story. So then my friend Joel, who was there, leans back and gives me a cookie.
With 5 martinis.
Oh, dude,
This
I
is
was
gonna
so
get
fucked
better.
up. So, and I'm there with my date. So she's there, and she's trying to be all proper, cute little skirt and heels.
Right.
And,
How many martinis did she had so far?
I think just one.
Okay.
Right. I think she suspected she might have to drive me home.
Right.
And I had a big SUV.
Smart girl.
Smart girl.
So I end up taking I knew at that point, because I knew the guy and I knew it was an edible. So I took a little bit of that.
Right.
And it was really strong, but I was okay. But it was a combination of that and the martinis, and I was just 2 sheets to the wind. I was done.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is walking around the mansion when there's not crazy. There was no party, so just taking a tour of it. There's a zoo. He's got monkeys in a cage there. There's a white peacock,
right.
And it's really weird because everything's just old. Nothing's been restored.
Right.
If there's if there was a baseboard that had been kicked off, it's staying kicked off.
Right.
If there's stains on the carpet from the dogs, from Bridget's dog or whatever, it stays there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
everywhere you go, it's just this. Anybody who's read Dickens' Great Expectations, it's like Miss Havisham's place, where it's just this this rotting glory of what it once was, and going down and everything is super there's orange shag carpet and
oh wow
in the gym it's it's clean,
Yeah,
but it's
outdated.
Nothing has been restored. And have had my art. So like my art is hanging in the house, and that's kind of neat to like show my date that I'm in the Playboy mansion. And
look at my art on the wall.
Yeah, so that was
cool.
I felt like the great. But
I heard he was a nice guy.
He was a businessman.
He was a businessman.
He was very pleasant if he liked you.
Okay.
If he didn't like you, you could see that.
You could tell.
You could tell that somebody was not liked.
If you get to have one back, him or Stanley, which one would you choose?
Stan Lee.
Well,
100%.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
Stanley. I mean, but
guys
this is not
Yeah.
to degrade Hugh Hefner.
Right.
I mean, he was
They're completely different people.
Hef was a visionary. He was perfectly lovely.
Man,
with me. He had a vision, and you know who's really cool is his son Cooper.
Okay.
Cooper Hefner's great. I know Cooper, and Cooper's a big like movie buff. He's like a classic movie buff,
Yeah.
and like a horror movie buff. So Cooper's really cool.
Right.
But the whole legacy of that
That name.
and that man, and
They
what
built
mansion.
an empire, man.
dude, it was crazy.
Because he
man.
was like, it was just him and Flynn, right?
Yeah.
That was it. Hustler and Playboy. Those were the big
Exceeded
ones.
all expectations.
Well, and here goes back to like why you would see these
Right.
girls that
Right.
I'm like, there's. I got in trouble one time for bringing a girl back late. So I was dating this playmate, and I brought her out on this date, and we got back to. She was living at the other house. Okay. So there was like the Playboy
There was the
mansion,
main house,
and then
yeah.
there was the other. I forget what street it was. It was right behind there. It was not on Charing Cross. It was the house behind it.
Okay.
So her curfew, I think, was like 10 maybe.
Wow.
So I go to drop her off, and it was like I dropped her off at I think 11 or something like that, and I like got a talking to, like, hey, if you're gonna be dating around here, you need to be respectful of what Mr. Hefner has. So that was it was not a good conversation.
Right.
And then from then on, like there were a couple girls that I took out, and it was very chill. And
Got it. But you knew there were rules to be followed. Right?
I knew, but I'm like,
you care?
They're fucking adults, man.
Yeah, right.
I'm like 35
but
years old.
It's the trade-off
Is
of
it
them
kind of like
living in the
dating
Playboy
someone in the
mansion.
military? You have to bring him back to base at a certain time too.
It felt like that.
That's right.
And she was really nervous. Like she was really nervous.
Well, because I mean,
because that means so
how many
much
girls
to
are
them.
living there at one time?
They're going through a diet, through a regimen,
Well, and they're
through
not paying
this
rent.
schedule.
So they're not.
It's to get
It's
the
a
recognition.
lifestyle, I believe.
Well, and they're living in LA and trying to make
Right.
it. And I actually got a couple girls in there. So there was a girl that I got into Playboy.
So you had fun being the Playboy radio.
Yeah. Listen, there's some wonderful people that are there,
Absolutely.
and there's still people that I'm friends with that I miss. I miss a lot of people, but I don't miss that lifestyle, man.
I get it.
I could not be happier.
Doesn't it get exhausting?
It's exhausting.
Gotta always be on.
And you're always on.
Yeah.
And it's this whole thing of like, oh, am I going to impress this girl enough?
Right.
And I just don't do it anymore, man. If you don't like me, sorry.
So, to end up the show, I just want to be clear that this is part 2 of this podcast. If you guys missed the first part, please go to Trendy Husky Podcast. Now I'm giving a plug in your Patreon.
As you should. Trendy Husky Podcast.
Trendy Husky Podcast. Go watch part 1.
We wore out the camera like 2 minutes ago anyway.
There you
It
go.
overheated. We're talking so much.
So there you go about that. And man, it was a pleasure seeing you.
Best, man. I'll be back, I'm sure.
I'm definitely going to be back.
Oh,
You're
definitely,
definitely
yes.
a good friend of the
Anytime.
show. Man, wish you the best with all the art galleries. And please keep us posted with whatever you're doing.
Thanks, my dude.
Beautiful
Yeah.
Alien production.
Yay.
There you
Yes,
go.
guys.
Yassi
It
as
was a
your
lot of
host.
fun.
I'll see you again in about 3 days. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.